Carnival finally, and this should get just as much attention. It may not, but it should, because you guys all think you've seen the Hyundai Tucson before, but this is the hybrid, and we're going to talk about why I think it's amazing. It's an absolutely stunning car. So what's going to happen in this video is we do these live videos every single weekday at 2 o'clock. We're going to spend about a half an hour with this car. We're going to go really in depth. So if that seems like a long time, grab some snacks, grab a beverage, go ahead, we're all good, and you can watch that. So in the next 3 minutes, what I'm going to do is allow our live audience to build. And if you're not watching live with us, you can jump in at the 3-minute mark, and that's where we'll get going with the content. In the meantime, we're going to talk about some news, some notes, some other stuff, and I'm going to let some people join in. And I'll also show you how to join us live as well. I should point out there's a boat in here. We're not really going to talk about the boat. Kind of a long story, but yeah. All right, to join our live videos, go to the Kia Hyundai channel. You're probably already there. If you refresh the page exactly at 2 o'clock Eastern time, you're going to see the live video right down here. So we're going to click on that right now. It's probably going to play an ad for us. And right now, what I'm going to do is play an ad myself. If you are in Ontario and if you want to buy one of these vehicles that you see here, especially a Hyundai, connect with me. There'll be a link in the description of this video right after it's posted live. And you can connect with me and I'll connect you up with our team in Brantford Hyundai or Owen Sound Hyundai. We can cover you wherever you are in Ontario. We want to be your local dealer. That's why we do these videos. We want to be your dealer. So if you want to connect with me that way, I will hook you up and we will support you. They will treat you like family because they are a team that works with me. All right, coming down here, once we've clicked on that video and done the live, you can see we've got a bunch of people joining in here. They're all saying hello. And feel free to make a comment. Ask your questions. That's what we do here. We sort of take your questions. We do what we can. And I will try to see your comments over there on the big screen as well. And if I don't see them, I will take some time out throughout the video to answer those questions. So do me a favor, guys, all of you who are sort of my regulars, hit that like button. We got about 21 of you on already. If you can hit that like button, we get to 21 likes to start the video. That'd be awesome. All right, what's going on in news and notes? I'm kind of excited about the Tucson here today because I'm very excited about the Santa Cruz that's coming, the Hyundai Santa Cruz. I don't have a date on that, but that's an intriguing vehicle, and a lot of that vehicle is going to be shown in this vehicle. You're going to see a similar dash, similar, like nearly exact same several features. So we're going to talk about that. Kia Carnival, we just did that. We had like 20,000 views in 2 days on the first video we did, which is pretty good for us. And so that was a good video. And we have the next trim line showing up this week some point. I may not get it until Monday. Depends on what I want to do with Hyundais as well. I've got some other Hyundai videos that I want to get done as well. So that's what's kind of going on this week. And I think we'll just sort of leave it at that. We're 10 seconds away from getting going here. So again, remember to hit that like button for me, guys. It really helps me out. All right. 4 seconds to go. Let's cover what we're going to cover. All right. All right, those of you that skipped ahead to the 3-minute mark, I'm excited about talking about today's video. Just want to point out really quickly, we've got a boat in here for no reason whatsoever. If you want to buy it, it's not for sale, but of course you make the right offer, it is for sale. I'm not going to talk about it, but just, yeah, it's going to be in the background, and I apologize. What we are going to talk about is this car. This is Hyundai Tucson, and this is the Ultimate. That's the trim line name. And I'm a huge fan of this car because it answers a couple, let's call it, issues that we've had in the past. So, of course, I've worked more at the Kia dealer than the Hyundai dealer the past 5 years. Here's the thing, Kia Sportage, top line trim level, to get more power, they give you a turbo engine. Works great, not the best for fuel efficiency. Now what Hyundai is doing is answering that in the best possible way. This is a hybrid, and it's only available as a hybrid. So what they do is it's technically a turbo engine still, but we'll show you what that means. And I think it's absolutely brilliant what they do. They add horsepower and torque, not through the turbo necessarily, but I'll show you that number, but they do it through electrification. And those of you that know me know I'm a huge fan of electric vehicles. I drive an electric vehicle, and this is a brilliant way to add instant torque, instant power, and then you get the side benefit of having a more powerful vehicle that also gets you better fuel efficiency and significantly better fuel efficiency because it's a hybrid. Now, if you want even more power or more efficiency, you have the option of getting these vehicles as plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, which we'll talk about in a later video when we get them in stock. But that adds more power again, more torque again. And then it also enhances the fuel efficiency. And to me, that is a brilliant way to move up because people have always, in the history, at least my whole life of the history of cars, you pay a little bit more to get a little bit more power. And that's what you're doing now. So you pay a little bit more, you get more power, more features, and you benefit from more efficiency. And that is definitely the way of the future. And this is really the first way of the future type cars that we're going to take a look at. So I want to show you a couple things that we're doing here, so you know where we're at in the lineup. The Tucson starts at around $27,699 MSRP. We've got them on video. Hyundai Canada doesn't even have them on their pictures, which is a little disappointing. I feel like they should have that by now. Moving on here, you can see the Ultimate is the all-wheel drive model. Now, $41,499. Some people will say that's expensive, but just stay tuned because I'm going to show you all the features in this car. It is unbelievable. It is incredible. It's a great car. So that's where we're starting today is the Ultimate. You can see it's an all-wheel drive model, and it is a hybrid because all of them are hybrids. Now, let's just jump across here one more time. How do we get there? So the regular Tucson, we've had that vehicle up here. You can search our channel. We had it here about a week and a half ago or so. 187 horsepower, 178 foot-pounds of torque. Now, that's a 2.5-liter four-cylinder. Scroll across, and you can see we're at a 1.6-liter turbo four-cylinder in the hybrid. The actual horsepower numbers are larger, but this is just the gasoline engine, makes 180 horsepower and 195 foot-pounds of torque. So without even the hybrid, without the electrification, you already have more torque. And you can see 178 foot-pounds of torque at 4,000 RPM. With the turbo, you get all of that torque at 4,500 RPM, or sorry, 1,500 to 4,500 RPM. So that's more, but that's not your actual torque number. You scroll down on the website here, and here is your actual number down here. Where is it there? Hold on, a little further. Right here. 227 horsepower is the total number and 258 foot-pounds of torque, and that is significant. So again, technically it has a turbo engine. Technically the turbo engine alone gives you more torque, but now we're adding electrification, so you get more horsepower, more torque, more fuel efficiency. It's everything you would want, and it's got features, lots of features. Now my Instagram is Peter_Kia_Brantford_channel, and we showed you Smart Park in that. I'm not going to show it to you here unless we do it at the end where I pull it outside, just because we are indoors. Even though it's a hybrid, it may not run the engine. I'm going to go outside if I do this. But this car has Smart Park. If you haven't seen that, you can see me on Instagram. We'll put up another video in the future here as well. But this is pretty cool. So what you end up with is you can remote start the car, even though it's a hybrid. A lot of hybrids don't have the remote start, but you have the remote start car, so it will set up the car, and then what you get is the park. You press the forward or the back button, and the vehicle can move forward on its own. If you are in a modern, townhouse, modern garage, modern build, you probably have a fairly narrow garage. You can use that feature right in your own garage. So I'm going to keep this key in my pocket. I don't need it for anything else today. There's a lot of features, but let's start showing you what you get inside this car, because you get a bunch of things that I didn't even expect, even though I knew the spec sheet. So let's just clarify what we're doing in the next 20, 22 minutes. We're going to go driver's seat. We're going to go rear seat and trunk. We're going to show you exterior lighting, other kinds of stuff, ambient lighting inside. We're also going to take your questions and sort of go where you guide us at some point throughout this. So that's what's going on. So let's take a look over here. Jumping in, of course, you got the button on the door, unlock the doors, leather seats, and you have the powered lumbar and powered seats there. Let's jump in here, because what you see here is a digital dash display. Now, I might be able to start the car right up, but I'm so far going to leave the car off just in case it runs the gasoline engine. But this is an excellent use of digital displays. So what you have here is, there's your gauges. We're in the eco mode right now. If I switch to sport mode, not only do the gauges change, the font, like check out the speedometer on the left here. The font, in other words, the numbers there, even they change font. So there's your smart mode there, and the sport mode changes the font. So eco, sport, and smart are your drive modes, but we still have terrain modes separate from that. So I quite like this smart mode. I think it looks very high end. It doesn't show as well on camera as it does in person, but this is a crystal clear 10.3-inch display screen. The way it's mounted, I don't have any glare. I've driven it in a number of different lights here. We had some clouds, we had some sunlight, so really good. And then you get all kinds of features that I can't show you unless I turn the vehicle on. So we're gonna turn it on for a quick second, and ready to drive. It tells us why, because the engine didn't start. You can see that EV button right there on the green EV button right there, or EV light, excuse me. So we are in full electric vehicle type mode. It will start on its own, the gasoline engine when we need it. Signal left, And that's my blind spot on the left side. You can see that there. Hey, the lights just turned out in this room because the boat's blocking our light sensor. Signal right, and what's pretty cool is you can be driving down the road and you can see when that gauge is normal, it's not a tachometer. It's a eco charge and power gauge, which is typical on hybrids. Let me just turn the car off for 1 second here. Signal right, it shows the RPM right now because the engine just started. But when you signal right normally, it's pretty cool to be going down the road. I'm just turning that car back on because I don't want the gasoline engine running while we're indoors. What's pretty cool is when you turn the car on, when you turn the signal on and you're driving down the road and it's in an EV mode, which can happen driving around in town, it just randomly goes to EV, which saves you a ton of fuel, you see the tach number as 0. It's just not running. So it's kind of cool. So you gain those features. Again, you can see your blind spots through there. In addition to a whole bunch of other features here that you can see, it's just a great use of a digital display screen. It looks, everything has similar display to some of our other display. Like a lot of these center displays are in our other vehicles that don't have a full digital display. But the way everything changes, especially with the drive modes and the terrain modes, we'll go to terrain modes here. We'll go to snow mode, which changes it sort of to the, sort of like the smart mode it looks like to me. Mud mode stays the same, sand mode stays the same, and then we'll go back to drive modes. You got the eco, the sport, and the smart. So again, good display there, shows well, and the thing I like is the clarity is excellent. Sometimes these digital gauges are really hard to read. What's cool is you have this sort of blue color that's sort of shining around here, looks like lighted. When the speedometer goes up, you can sort of still see that bluey kind of greeny color there. So where's the knob to change those modes? I'll show you that in just 1 second. We'll work our way down to that. So coming over here, you also have a 10.25 inch display screen. Now, here's the thing. I can't make promises that I can't keep. Tucson's available with wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay, not on the 10.25 inch display screen. There's whispers in the Kia world that some of these 10.25 inch display screens will be updated. I haven't been able to confirm that in the Hyundai world. So don't buy it expecting wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. But maybe, I don't know. So I can't make that promise. So a lot of people are gonna ask me that and I don't have an answer that I can actually give you. But you end up with this display screen here and a lot is going on here. Now, I read a driving.ca review. I don't like to read reviews, especially Canadian reviews, when I'm about to talk about a car, but I stumbled across it and they gave it a hard time because they said, hey, other than this thing doesn't have a volume knob, they love everything about it. Well, here's the thing. If you're a car reviewer, and you don't know where to find the controls, you always look for the volume knob. How do I know that? I used to be a car reviewer. But when you live with a car, you're not a car reviewer. How many of us really hit the volume switch there? And if you do, you're probably not going to anymore because the volume switch is right here. You're gonna turn it up, you're gonna turn it down there, and you're gonna tap it in to mute it. That's the switch you're gonna use. You don't have to worry about some of these radio buttons that are supposedly missing because they're just not. It's just a knob there. So I'm going to fight back against people who give me a hard time. I'm not a huge fan of some of these touch sensitive things, but the fact is most of the time the climate system, you just leave it on auto, and the radio system, you control it completely from your steering wheel, and it's there if you need it. So there we go. I mean, when did the Tucson start in a hybrid? Somebody just asked, when did the Tucson start in a hybrid? Yeah, they don't really advertise that this is a hybrid, but the upper trim levels, the Ultimate here, is a hybrid. So we talked about this top of the video. The hybrid is how they add more power, and it also adds efficiency. So instead of what we used to do within the Kia world, Kia Sportage, for instance, has a turbo engine to add more power. This one's got a hybrid engine to add more power. And then you gain the side benefit of also being efficient. Let's take a look through the screen here in a minute. We'll do that in a bit. Let's actually just show you in reverse real quickly. Oops, are we on? Yeah, okay. Oh, you know what? It won't show because I have to hit just the camera button. So there's the camera. We are in the reverse button. You can see exactly 360 camera here, or surround view camera is what they call it. If I turn the wheels a little bit, you're gonna see the front wheel. It will tell you where it will curl out to. If I turned it more, I don't wanna turn it right now. Or sort of gives an idea where the rear wheels will go as well. And just kind of a nice little display there. You can zoom this in and out, which a lot of people don't know. If you want to back it out a little bit more, get a little bit more view, or zoom it in a little bit more, you can get some more view there. And then you have the backup camera, which also is good if you're parallel parking here. You gain both sides of the car there. You can see right up against the curb. So depends on what you want to do. If you want to look straight down, because maybe you're hitching a trailer or something like that, you can do that as well. And so there we go. We've got the backup camera. When you put it in drive, it will also show that. And it is crystal clear. You can see the lines in the floor there. It's hard to film a camera to clarity. But even on the top view here, you can see all those squares on the floor. You can see how well the digital stitching puts everything together. Otherwise, those squares would be rounded. They're not rounded at all. There is a little bit of raindrops or water drops on this screen, on this car. I did wash it just before we did the video. So we'll leave that there. Scrolling down here, your automatic climate control. Again, when you film this piano black with a single camera eye, you see glare. When you have two eyes, like a human, most of us have two eyes, you see a lot less glare. So forgive the glare on the camera. It's not bad in person. It's just the angle. Again, I'm filming straight on here, whereas I'm looking from the side regularly. So you have a dual zone automatic climate control system here. Works really well. You have a diffuse mode like we talked about in the past, the sync. There is a driver only mode. Again, in a hybrid, if you put it on driver only, what that does is once the car is up to temperature, it can save the vehicle from running on gasoline engine as much. So you've got that option as well. And generally speaking, you're going to leave it on the auto mode and go from there. I'm going to turn it off for now just so we save some battery. You can see the ambient lighting down here. Ambient lighting is throughout the car. You can see it there in the cup holders there. The lights are off in this room, which is making it a little bit easier. Wireless updates? No, you don't have wireless updates on this car. Down here, you have a rubber coated spot to put your stuff. And right here on this angle is where your phone goes. And I thought that's a bad place, but I put my phone there, charged with it, and it's actually very secure, kind of out of sight, but works really well. Is the center stack tilted towards the driver? So yes, there is a slight tilt towards the driver, but not an aggressive tilt towards the driver. I would say something like the Elantra has a little bit more tilt, but you can sort of see that it seems to have just a general tilt towards the driver, but not a whole lot. Down here, you've got USB ports. You got 12-volt port down there in the center, and of course, that's the one you're going to plug into for your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. And again, wireless charging down here as well. Now, let's talk about all the other features here. A top-line car, you expect top-line features. Ventilated seats, love those. They actually work. They're not just something that takes the heat out of the seat. They can actually bring the temperature of the seat down, cool you down by blowing air through the seat. If you want rump roasters instead, you got them too, and 3 levels of each. You've got a heated steering wheel, which is kind of standard on a lot of these, anything close to this trim level now. And passenger and driver side there. Here's your drive and terrain modes. Drive mode, terrain modes, you can see it switches there, so you can see exactly what mode we're in, and then this selects between the two. So selecting back to drive mode, we're going to leave it in the smart mode there. Nice, simple. A lot of people talk about these push button things or push button gear shift. I'm starting to like this. Now, I like this better than on the Kona, for instance, because reverse neutral drive is in order. I just find that's a little easier to find very quickly, reverse neutral drive, whereas the Kona, it's a little bit more of a T-shaped kind of thing, and it makes I think it's a Kona. Anyways, but yeah, this is very easy to figure out, easy to find, and it's at a good level there. There is a spot, I don't know if you can see this, if I can get the camera angle right, a large spot underneath this area here, where it doesn't go right through like on some of the cars, but there is a spot there with some ambient lighting, a place to stick some things, so there we go. So let's come down here. You got cup holders there as well, and a little button to pop the extra tray here as well. I'm gonna go look all the way up to the top here for a second. First of all, your buttons right there, that's your garage door openers, 3 garage doors. And over here, you've got the Blue Link, which is like a cell phone app that allows you to remote start the car, open the doors. Potentially on this one, you may be able to take pictures with the 360 camera. We were able to do that on the newest Sorento, we found that out, but I haven't been able to hook up Blue Link because I don't own these cars, so I can't test that in this video. White LED lights there, and if I can show you over here, you've got a massive panoramic sunroof, which is almost like a sunroof. Somebody said the other day they gave me a hard time because I didn't open this, so let's just do that for them. People always want to know how far it opens. First of all, you can just tilt it open to vent, and this is how far it opens. Now let's just take a look. Let's just make sure it doesn't go any further. It does not. All right, so take a look at me for a second. Where I'm sitting, this is a full width sunroof, and it feels very much almost convertible-like. Why doesn't it go further? People ask me that all the time. The reason it doesn't go further is aerodynamics. You've got this little vent up here, which shuts down. It will diffuse the air, but if you go too far back, you get that strong buffeting feeling, which is not pleasant. So that's why they open as far as they do. When they're closed, you have the glass, and when you fully close it, you have nothing as well. So really, it feels bigger than it looks on video. Like, again, the full width here, you get a lot. All right, we're gonna go through, take a few more questions here. We're already 20 minutes into this video. Oh, I want to show you a couple more things real quickly. Oops, ooh, that's not what I used to see. Smart cruise control is standard on this car. You get the lane keep, lane follow. You have a nice looking steering wheel here. I kind of like this double look. You have an extra little handle down here. It seems like it's functional as well as nice design detail to have that extra piece down there, just an extra little area to hold. You have this button which can be programmed. We're going to show you some of the technology in a minute. You also have paddle shifters on this car. And the reason I want to talk about the paddle shifters is on Kia Hyundai electric vehicles, the paddle shifters change the regenerative braking. On this car, they are paddle shifters, and this is an 8-speed traditional automatic transmission, not a dual clutch, not a IVT or anything else. It's an 8-speed transmission, which is great. I think that works well. So you have that, again, this is the top line model. Forget the fact that it's a hybrid. It just feels like the sportier model. It's got lots of power, luxurious sporty. So it's got lots of power, lots of instant torque, drives really well, but you get those paddle shifters for that sport mode. Oh, somebody said 6-speed. You know what? It could be a 6-speed. I thought it was an 8-speed though. I'll double check that in a second. But anyways, the point is you get that sporty feel through the paddle shifters, and yeah, I'm not sure if 8-speed. Somebody said 6-speed, 8-speed, and you know what? I've been learning so many cars recently, so many new cars recently, I may have mixed that up. I'll double check my specs in a second. You guys can double check them as well if you want and let me know. Anyways, the point is paddle shifters, again, they don't promote this so much as the hybrid as much as the upper level trim. And hybrids are quiet. They're powerful, especially this one. It doesn't drive like the traditional hybrid where it's only geared for economy. It's set up to drive powerfully as well as efficiently. So there we go. There we go. I'm going to turn this off for a second. We'll take a look at some other things. Oh, one little cool thing I want to point out as well. It has memory seats, but they hide it like in the door here. You can sort of see that there. Again, the light turned off in the room. I'll show you a little bit later. But you can see it's just the buttons are kind of hidden in the door there. So really cool there. Really like the way they did that there. Overall look of the dash is excellent. We're going to talk safety features. We're going to talk trunk space, rear seat space. We'll do all that in a second. I'm going to turn the light on this room. Again, somebody's boat is in my way, and the light sensor senses people, and there we go. It just found me again. So let's take some real quick questions here, and I'll come back to your questions in a minute. Somebody said transmission was a 6-speed, and I felt like it was 8. Oh, you're right. It's 6-speed. I'm wrong. So again, just checking there. Sorry about that, guys. We've been learning a lot of cars the past couple days. I mixed that up in my head. Sorry about that. All right, let's keep going. We'll take some questions, see if we've got anything here that we should answer. Where are we going here? New steering wheel looks better. Yeah, I like that. Did I mention the price for regular gas and hybrid? I mentioned that off the top, so we'll talk about that. I didn't point out fuel efficiency, so I'll show you the window sticker here in a second. Is there a Tucson? Okay, nice Hyundai and Kia put cooling vents on the wireless charge. Yeah, I should point that out. The wireless chargers now are uprated. They have more power and they have ventilation on that, so it keeps the phone cool while it's charging. Fuel efficiency, this is silly. 6.3 liters per 100 kilometers, 6.6 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway. Again, better in the city than the highway, which is the opposite of what we used to have. So now, again, keep in mind where we're at. The vehicle grew in size. It's got class-leading luggage space. It used to be the CR-V had the largest trunk. This is bigger than the CR-V as far as trunk space. So you're bigger, you've got more power, and usually when you get more power, you get worse fuel efficiency, and you get 6.3 and 6.6 in city and highway, and just a sleek-looking car. So really cool. When is it available? It's now. I'm out. This is a dealer vehicle it's sitting at Brantford Hyundai right now, and it'll be back there this afternoon. And of course, Owen Sound Hyundai's got them as well, so that's where it's out. That's what I was thinking about, bootleg. Okay. All right, so let me show you the rear seat here for a quick second here. We'll go through some more questions. Is it all-wheel drive? Yes, it is. It's a regular all-wheel drive. It's not a electric all-wheel drive. It's the drivetrain runs through just like proper. It's not electric separately. So somebody says it's a lot better looking than the RAV4. I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. It's a sharp looking car. And again, I'm a big fan of that Santa Cruz. There's a lot of Santa Cruz in here. Michelin tires, 19-inch rims. And the other thing is the 19-inch wheels on here, they're 55 series sidewall. So that means you've got a little bit more sidewall than it maybe looks on video. The overall wheels are light, nice and large. I'm gonna have to play with this seat for a second because when I get out, it's on the comfort access and it moves back. So I'm just gonna put it back to where I had it so you can see the true legroom of this car. Bear with me, I'll just show you what I'm doing here. Just moving it back because I want it to be accurate. So this is, yeah, that's right where I need it. And now let me show you the rear seats. I love the Tucson because I feel like the Tucson is a replacement for a former midsize because it's just so much bigger. So I'm gonna easily hop in here. When we do, you're gonna see a lot of things. The last time I was in the back of a Tucson, it had a few less features than I'd like. Well, that's just trim line based. So if we show back here, over here, Rump roasters in the back, you got it. That's what that button is right there. You've got a pocket over here and a pocket on the driver's side, that netted style pocket. You've got the USB ports down here. Now, the reason I like the netted style pockets is if you put your iPad down here, you could run the cord out of there and over into that USB port right there. Legroom is silly. Like for a small crossover, let's just show you this way again. For a small crossover, headroom is great. I'm underneath the shortest part here. If I go underneath the glass, it's immense. Again, when this roof is closed, I've got a fantastic view. And even when it's open, I've got a great view there of the above. And you can see the roof goes right behind me. Look at my bald head. It's nice, eh? All right, over here, legroom. Like silly amounts of legroom for the size of this. Again, I'm a 6-footer sitting behind a 6-footer. There's tons of space back here. You get a cup holders in here. There's bottle holders in the door. So I'll show you the cup holders right there. And again, those vents. And again, if you have kids, this plastic back seat means the leather doesn't get scuffed. It just wipes down with a cloth. It's super easy to keep clean. There's a huge advantage to the newest Tucson compared to the previous Tucson in rear seat space. And in this trim level, it is as nice as anything we sell in this row seat. And it's, again, you don't have to move to a larger SUV, which again, you've got all the power and everything else. Reclinable seats, great question. I'll show you. Yes, they are. So actually, you know what? I don't know if I can show you. Yeah, they are reclinable, but I've got the rear cargo blind, which I'll show you in 1 second, behind me, and it's in a spot where I can't recline these any more than what they are. But yes, they do recline. So good question, and sorry to not be able to show that to you right this second. Half open roof is something that someone has to get used to. Yeah, exactly. All right, I want to show you the key here. Whoa, let's go this way. I want to show you the key here, and if you hold this button for the trunk, you can see it opens. Now, it is also a smart trunk. I could walk up to that trunk and it would open on its own if I set it up like that just by standing near there. A couple little features here. We've got that cargo blind that I was talking about. You can see it can be moved where it is or it can be set back. If it's set back here, those seats can recline quite a ways back. The cargo blind will keep everything covered. It works really simply. It clips in over here, and I'm doing it left-handed while not looking. There we go. If I look straight, I'm fine. So again, you can keep all your cargo covered. You also have a floor that lowers. You simply pull this out. I've done this all the time. Pull it out, slide it back in, and it drops. You can see how much, about that much there. So that's a pretty good thing. Now you can see that little box underneath there. What that does is it takes your cargo blind and you can set it underneath that area there. So when you get to that Home Depot or wherever the Lowe's, you're going to, load the new dishwasher in the car, that can come out and it stays with the car and you don't have to worry about it. So that's pretty good there. Spare tire, not on this one. You have a inflator kit, and inflator kits are pretty common on these eco-ish vehicles, so it's a hybrid vehicle, and there we go. 12-volt port in the trunk. You know what? I didn't check that, so let's just try that one more time. We'll find out. Oops, I hit the button twice here. Hold on, I'm tricking it. I'm telling it to go up and down and up and down. There we go. 12-volt port in the trunk. Yes, right over this side. That's what I thought. I just wanted to, whoops, come on, camera. Oh boy, camera's not working with me here, guys. There we go. Kia Hyundai, world leader in design and function. Yeah, for sure. So there's your 12-volt port there. So if you have a cooler or something else you want to charge back there, you can do that. Trunk space, again, 200 plus liters over what it used to be. It's class-leading trunk space. Again, you drop that floor down, you get more. So we're talking about more trunk space than a Honda CR-V. We're talking about way more power than a CR-V. The hybrid model, so I don't want to bash another make, but Honda's having trouble with their 1.6 liters creating enough heat. It's not that the engine's too small, it's that somebody didn't design it correctly. So on a hybrid, you're gonna have all that heat, you're gonna have all that, so you don't, just because it's a smaller engine doesn't matter. All right, so somebody says, Seltos, you've met your match in the Tucson. Now this is a much more expensive version than the Seltos, so just so we're on the same point, comparison that way. So what I wanna do, it's 28 already, I wanna go through some technology in this car. We're gonna go around a few minutes late today. If you wanna stay past that half hour, we'll probably go another 8 or 10 minutes or so tops. I want to talk about some technology, but I don't want to forget your questions here. So let me just take your questions real quick, and then we'll take a look at some of the technology, safety stuff, headlighting and that kind of thing. The headlighting is really cool in this car. Everybody else has seen it. That's why I didn't just start with it. Hill descent control, I believe so on this car. I can't remember. I'll double check that when we hop back in. Does the missing cowl on the speedo console, is that a problem in the bright sunlight? Okay, that is a great question. Somebody said with the missing cowl, which is the cover, let me just put the keys back in my pocket. With the missing cowl on this, is there a problem with glare? And I 100% thought there would be. And I was like, how do I go about doing that if someone asked me the question? Because I always tell you the truth here. The reality is, because this is a screen, it doesn't have any issue. I haven't had any issues with glare. I drove it in a cloudy day. It got sunny again. I drove it. it just doesn't seem to have the issue that I thought it would have. Maybe because the screen's brightness, I'm not sure why. But I also expected it to have an issue with glare, with issues without the cowl over top, the little roof over top of those gauges. Doesn't seem to. I can't find the problem, and I was looking for it. So great question, because I wondered that myself. It seems to be very, very well thought out that way. So I was impressed with them. Okay. Let me just go down the bottom here. Somebody, can I let the manufacturers know that piano black is a pain in the backside for customers? I hear you. I don't mind it. I don't find this to be very fingerprint-ish-y. And I like it. So I think they seem to like it as well. All right, can you tow? Oh, yes, I believe it can tow 2,000. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Last I checked, I thought it was, maybe it's a little under. You know what? It can, but I forgot off the top of my head, and that was a number that I was going to memorize just before we started here, and I'm sorry, guys, I forgot. Usually I have someone in the other room just dumping me specs when I'm having trouble with them. He's not here today, so I do apologize for towing. I can't remember that. Off the top of my head, I know it can, but I'm going to quote the wrong number. I've been learning a lot of new cars, and I'm starting to get them mixed up. All right, let me just show you some of the technology in here real quickly. And Tucson needs to be pitted against the Sorento. Looks the same size to be similar. So yeah, the Tucson is smaller than the Sorento. The Sorento and Santa Fe, they share a thing. The Tucson, yeah, somebody said they think it's 2,000 pounds towing. I do as well. Problem is when you're live on video and you say something, you're stuck with it forever. So I do apologize for not memorizing that. It's just because we're live and I had a few things that I didn't look up that. Anyways, somebody says Tucson, Sorento. Yeah, maybe. Definitely, if you're looking at a Sorento, this is an option for you. Santa Fe, and you want sort of, it used to be that this car was too small in the past, maybe in the rear seat compared to the Santa Fe. Well, maybe not anymore. So you can certainly cross-shop this with larger SUVs, certainly compared to other makes. If you're looking at, for instance, a Honda, I don't know, Pilot or Passport or something like that, and you say, okay, well, I can't look at the CR-V because it's too small, you may not find that here. All right, let's just jump in real quickly and show you some technology. I want to get this car back in the future and do a proper technology and safety review. You do have the multiple driver modes here, so you can set it up for different drivers. You can look across here. Hybrid information is all right there. Again, this car spent a lot of time idling as I was playing with it, so ignore fuel efficiency altogether. It's not accurate in any way of what it's actually capable of, because I was doing, like I said, a lot of things with this car today. But you've got lots of gauges. You can dig in and get all kinds of extra stuff. So if you're like a nerd kind of person like me, you can absolutely dig into the specs here and see quite a bit of information here. So you have some cool stuff. Navigation, of course, here is when you go, oops, not navigation, I want to go to the map here. Let's go to the map and you can go full screen here. So if we cancel that, really nice looking full screen map. If you don't go to a full screen map on these 10.25 inch screens, you gain the ability to swipe through various information pieces over here, which I think is really smart. So we can keep it on the radio for a second if we want to. The map will just go back home over to here. Climate system quiet mode. Again, you can mute the rear seat speakers and turn it just to the driver's seat if you wanted to. Phone projection, which is our Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Sounds of nature, it's got my least favorite feature in all of our cars, but there's a lot to go through here, and I'd like to show you more in a future video, so feel free to subscribe because we will have that here, and I'll let you know. Yeah, somebody said they can't find tow numbers on the Hyundai Canada site, and I'll be really honest with you, I couldn't find it quickly either, and that's why I forgot to double check before we came live. So I will find those out and we'll let you know later. So that's some of the technology in here, some of the technology there. I'm just going to show you headlighting while we're here, and then we'll let you guys go. If you guys haven't hit the like button, it looks like many of you have, but feel free to hit that right now. That'll just help us out. All right, headlighting. You guys all know about the daytime running lights. They're here. They're very difficult to show right now because my camera's adapted well. Headlighting is actually down here. They're LED lights. And these are going to look like they're flickering. You see how they're flickering there? They don't flicker in real life. So when I film this car properly in the light, you have nice bright, yeah, it looks more like this. This is a little more bright daytime running light. They're much whiter in person than on camera, but your headlights are not actually this set of lights. Those disappear when you park. It looks just like the grill. Your headlights are actually down here and they're LED. I want to show you the rear lights as well because they just look so sharp on this car. I really like the overall look of this car. Maybe it doesn't show on camera the way it does in person, but everybody who's seen this, you've got the white LED license plate lights, and there's some texture and some depth to these lights here. It just looks a lot more high-end in person than it does on camera. So there we go. Radar plate is off-center, somebody asked. Let me just show you that. Oh, good, the lights turned back on here. Good point, you asked that. So, yes, this car does have it off-centered. On the Sonata, I believe it was, the logo is actually the radar plate, and it's sort of drawn in. You can see the camera in the front here. This is actually a grill logo. It's right through. One other thing I want to show you just with the other logo on the back here, and this is just a silly thing, but I think it's one of the smartest things on this car as well. So the logo back here is just flush. It's just kind of in the glass instead of on the glass. There's no rear wiper back here, and I'm a big fan of that because when a wiper sits here and it gets snow and ice on it, you sort of break that wiper when you activate it. So now it sits up underneath here, really buried up in there, which protects it from the snow and ice, makes it more useful. And then what happens is you can set it down to service it. There's a click, I can show you how to do that later, and that works really well. So there we go, guys. Tucson. I love this Ultimate. We're going to have it back. We've gone over our time already, over that half an hour. I'm going to have this car back. We're going to do some technology reviews, some safety reviews. We didn't even talk about safety. A lot of the safety in this car, if you've seen any of my videos, collision avoidance is the thing to remember. So not just blind spot detection, but blind spot detection with collision avoidance. Rear cross traffic alert, a lot of avoidance features, which means it can steer and brake out of the way to save you from actually getting in a collision. Junction assist, so it's like some of the most dangerous collisions it can avoid. It's capable of stopping, capable of steering, some of those things. So really cool. That's a whole other video. So hit subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, because I promise you we'll have a bunch more going on there. Wonder how the new Sportage will compete with Tucson. Well, we haven't seen the new Sportage yet. It hasn't been announced at all yet. So when that happens, we'll compare that. Guys, we've got so much on the go here, so much coming. A lot of new Hyundai products to still show you. A lot of Kia stuff that's really important to show you. Like I said, Carnival just came out. If you missed that video, we got like 20,000 views in 2 days on that. Santa Cruz is going to come. The EV6, I've heard, could come as early as this summer. I don't believe them, but I've heard it could come as early as this summer here. Ioniq 5 is coming. We are going to have them all in depth and in detail. I'm also working on something I can't tell you about. I'm trying to have a little interview with someone, so if I can sort that out, we'll do that. I'll know more about that maybe on Friday, certainly next week. A lot going on. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for the likes. I appreciate that. Hopefully you can subscribe to our channel. Whole lot more coming. We're really growing here, guys, so thanks for hanging with us. And if you want to buy these cars, Brantford Hyundai, Owen Sound Hyundai, just connect with me. I'll connect you with the sales team that I work with. They will treat you like family, I promise. Same thing over here with Brantford Kia. If there's a Kia you want to see, connect with me. I'll connect with our sales team. Thanks everyone for watching. We will see you again tomorrow.